Hello and welcome to In Our Community. My name is Liz Holtz and I'll be your host for today's show. And I'm here with Charlene Moore-Tatis, who is our guest this evening from the Catholic Charities Family Resource Center on Ray Street at the Health Trust Resource Center. But she also oversees three of the resource centers for Catholic Charities. And we're going to be talking a little bit tonight about all the different things that go on there. So welcome, Charlene.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, we're absolutely excited to have you here, hon. So first thing, let's talk a little bit about Catholic Charities. And, you know, people hear the term Catholic Charities and they think, oh, well, do I have to be Catholic to go? Is this like a religious sect of some sort? So can you tell us a little bit about what Catholic Charities is?
Sure. Catholic Charities is a 501c3 independent nonprofit organization. We are part of the Diocese of San Jose. We're affiliated with the Diocese of San Jose. The way we like to look at it is that we're the social arm, the social service arm of the diocese. And so we serve families of all backgrounds, religions. We serve anyone that walks through our doors. So we're one of the largest nonprofit organizations in Santa Clara County, and we're also affiliated with Catholic Charities USA, which is a nationwide organization. And yeah, we provide great services to all, regardless of their background, religious, ethnic. So yeah.
Yeah, now, I understand Catholic Charities has a lot of different community programs that they do. And wanted to just kind of like give a brief overview of like some of the groupings or types of services that they do before we get into talking specifically about the Family Resource Centers. So what are some of the other programs that you, like for example, I know they have an advocacy group now called Step Up Silicon Valley?
Yeah. Well, the way that we like to look at it is because we're such a large organization, we really have programs and support services from prenatal to the grave. And so we serve individuals and families at all stages of their life. So as you mentioned, we do have an advocacy group, Step Up Silicon Valley, which is really looking at how to advocate on a local, public, state level, federal level, to cut poverty. Catholic Charities' mission is to prevent, cut, and alleviate poverty, and so we have some pretty big goals, and so our Step Up Silicon Valley really works on advocacy and legislative efforts to help cut, prevent, and alleviate poverty. Yeah, and then we also have, of course, our older adults program, which has a daycare. We provide nutritious meals for older adults. We also have a daycare program where family members who are caring for their mothers, their fathers, their grandparents, that they can take them to a daycare center while they're at work or while they have a personal errand to run. So it's a way to support the caregivers for older adults. We also have many youth programs, all the way from prenatal to teenage years, and the Family Resource Centers is one piece of that, as well as Washington United Youth Center. We have a very large choral after-school program, and it's focused in the Franklin McKinley School District, which is one of the school districts with some of the largest number of struggling students. And so we're really trying to raise literacy levels there to ensure that all children have the best opportunity in life and are successful in school.
That's a fabulous thing.
Yeah,
that is just definitely a fabulous thing. And then I understand Catholic Charities also does some supportive services for immigrants, for people that may have had problems with the correction center.
We do.
Jails, things like that. So you really have the charities all together have their fingers all over in all different pies.
Yes, we do.
And stuff. And it seems like there's really Catholic Charities has some sort of service to help just about any demographic that may need services or assistance.
Yeah, I mean, poverty is everywhere, and you know, it affects all different people, and so that's one of the reasons why we have varying programs to support people in where they are in their life. And I think one of the great things is because Catholic Charities last year just celebrated our 60-year anniversary. Yeah, and so you mentioned the refugee program, so that's definitely a program where we've helped youth who have come find adoptive families in the U.S., but we've also helped families, refugee families who have come to resettle in our country. And now some of those refugees, many years later, are contributing back to Catholic Charities, whether it be monetary donations or volunteering their time. And one of the parishes that donates a significant amount of money to Catholic Charities is Our Lady of Vang Parish, which is mostly Vietnamese parish. And it's because many of them were provided the support and services when they settled in the U.S. and are now in a position to where they can give back. And so that's a wonderful circle around to, and then be able to give back as once having to have had to receive. So,
yeah, that is fabulous. Yeah. And I imagine if our viewers want some more information about some of the other different programs that Catholic Charities does, the best place for them to do is to go to the website and take a look around. I've seen your website. It's very easy to navigate and to find all the different resources there. And then I assume that, if they're not quite finding or they're having a difficult time finding it, then they can call the main office there, and they'll be able to get pointed in the right direction.
Absolutely, yes. Our website will point you in the direction. There's so many programs to talk about, so of course we can't talk about them all today.
Oh, no.
But yeah, definitely we have our immigration services, which can help folks who are seeking support with immigration. We also have our Tax Easy program. So there's so many. But yes, the website's the best place to lurk, or absolutely call our offices. We have some of the best receptionists that can help you navigate the agency and find out what service would meet your needs.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So now I do want to get to the thing that I'm really interested in talking about, and that is the Catholic Charities Family Resource Centers.
Yes.
And I understand that you have a lot of different things that go on at the resource centers. Now, you manage 3 of the resource centers for Catholic Charities.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about the resource centers that in general, what is a resource center?
Yeah, so in 1998, Proposition 10 was passed, which is the Family and Children Act. And what that does is it's a tobacco tax. And so the tobacco tax that's generated is then, from the state, is then brought down to the counties. And then First 5 Santa Clara County looks for nonprofits like Catholic Charities to then provide programs and services to best serve families with children 0 to 5 years old.
Okay.
And so Catholic Charities is a recipient of multiple grants from First 5 Santa Clara County, along with obviously other foundations that support families with young children. And so First 5 created an initiative called the Family Resource Center Initiative. And what we look to do is basically create a hub in the community. And so family resource centers are located centrally in areas where the highest number of population with families with children 0 to 5 reside. And so in those areas, families can easily access the resource centers to receive parent education programs and services, early education, and wellness programs, along with referrals to other community services. So we really are a community, truly our community hub, where families can come and get access to any need, whether we can provide it there or refer them to another agency in which they could provide the support.
Well, so I want to talk a little bit about some of the kind of different services that you do at the Family Resource Center. So one of the things is you have parent education programs.
Yes.
So what is a parent education program?
So a parent education program, it's not at all a teacher speaking down to their students. It's very much an interactive time where parents can drop off their children in our care. They're provided, a snack or sometimes even a full meal, and we facilitate conversations around the struggles and the delights of being a parent. And we also provide lots of information and tools around how to be better parents. And so we have workshops like Abriendo Puertas, opening doors, which is based on the Latino culture. So we use a lot of things called dichos, which are sayings that Latino families can connect with because they were sayings that they were brought up with.
Oh, okay.
And we talk about, how do those sayings apply in today's world? And if you used that saying in your home, how would it be interpreted, and how can you use that to your advantage? And then we also do some acting. So there's kind of like a telenovela, a soap opera time, where families get to engage with, if you're negative and you're thinking negative thoughts, what's likely to happen? The negative. But if you think positive thoughts and don't leave what you could do today for tomorrow, then you're likely to have a great day and feel good about what you were able to give to your family that day. So it's really neat. So we have Abriendo Puertas. We have Triple P, Positive Parenting Program, which is about the basics of how to be a positive parent. So creating routines, having clear rules and consequences, how to be consistent with those rules and consequences. We have Seeds of Early Literacy, which is a wonderful program that just looks at every day, how can you increase the oral language capacity of your children? So when you're driving in the car, rather than having the music on, start a conversation with your child, right? And use open-ended questions, or just talk about what you see out the window. Oh, did you just see that train passing by, or the subway passing by? What kind of noise was that the subway making? Let's listen. Can you describe the noise you're hearing? What color is it? So it's about having meaningful conversations with your children, and it can be done anywhere, while you're grocery shopping, while you're in the car, while you're getting them dressed, while you're changing their diaper. So it's about increasing oral language development.
So, and at what age would one start doing that? I mean, could they actually start doing that when the child is still a baby, to kind of encourage them, so that they grow up and they see you always pointing to this thing, and that's a door, and that's a door, and that's a door, so that when they do finally begin to have linguistics, that they already know what that is and what it's called.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it starts from day one, right? The day your child's born. And even before that, I would argue. So day one. In fact, it's known that children need about 10 to 12,000 words. Need to know 10 to 12,000 words to be successful readers when entering kindergarten. And the way children know that is by hearing and seeing, and being able to identify that object is called this, right? Yeah. And so making that connection. So yeah, early literacy is really important, and Seeds of Early Literacy encourages parents on how to do that. And we try to use recycled materials so that parents don't feel like they need to go out and buy state-of-the-art toys or mechanisms that will help them do that. We try to look at what are the basics,
No iPad needed.
No
right?
iPad needed. No, in fact, a good old-fashioned book with child on your lap is the best way to go. And one of the things I always tell parents is, if you at least give 20 minutes a day to your child, your undivided attention, 20 minutes a day to play with your child, which could include book reading, that's the best thing that you can do. And although 20 minutes sounds like that's not a lot, for some working parents that could be a struggle sometimes. But I think if you put that in simple terms, just 20 minutes a day, parents are likely to do it. Yeah, so we talk about all of those things in parent education workshops, and talk about what are some barriers to doing that, and how could we help overcome some of those barriers.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found really fabulous that you were doing there is you have a program called 24/7 Dad.
Yeah.
So it's a program especially just for the dads.
Exactly. Yeah, we want dads to be just as involved, and they play such an important role. Most dads still to this day are the primary breadwinners for the families, and because of that, sometimes they're not always able to be present. And so we talk about, well, what are some ways that you can still be present without physically being there? We also talk about what are great ways that you can co-parent together with mom. And then also breaking down some of the barriers or maybe obstacles that mothers could put in the way for dads at times to be more involved. And so we talk about anything really that relates to fathers and parenting, and also about self-care for them, because they're out there working, they're the main breadwinners, you know, they come these days, they also come home and they're expected to, you know, to be highly involved, which is great, but at the same time, they also need to take time for themselves and know that when they feel good about themselves, they're able to be better parents to their family.
Yeah, no, I think that's just wonderful, all the different things.
And we actually just graduated our first 24/7 Dad class. We just began delivering that program, and we graduated 14 dads from the program. So we were really excited about that. And we had a huge celebration afterwards where, you know, we served dinner, we even had dancing. It was a big family event.
It's a big family event.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So the other thing I think you do as part of your parenting class is you have Raising a Reader.
Yes.
And so is that, again, to encourage parents to read to their children, to teach their children to read?
Yes, it's a Red Book Bag program, so when families come to our programs, they get to take home a Red Book Bag with high-quality books, and many of the books are bilingual and multicultural, and what we encourage, again, is for parents to, you know, read to their children every day, and to read the same book multiple times, and then we also encourage them to take out some paper and have their children draw what they learned from the story, and then families can ask questions about, well, what's this that you drew? And the child will explain it's a horse, and that mom or dad writes horse next to the drawing of the horse. So again, it's really building all of those literacy skills that children need to be successful in school. In fact, there's a lot of research out there that shows that economics doesn't have to determine a child's success in school. That in fact, parents who are highly involved, regardless if they're high or low income, those children fare better in school than parents who are not involved. And so we're really all about parent engagement and family engagement, really, because many families have extended family members that we also want involved, because everybody is involved in the learning. In fact, you know, one thing that we always say is, you are your child's first teacher. And children at the end of kindergarten will have spent 700 hours in their kindergarten classroom. But before getting to kindergarten, they will have spent 52,000 hours with the caregivers, the people around them, their parents and other adults that are with them every day. So 52,000 hours of instruction time before they even get to school. So a parent is their child's first teacher, and that's an important piece to remember. It's not just providing to your child, it's also engaging with them and educating them.
And along those lines, Steph, you do a lot of early education programs to help prepare children for that eventuality of going into kindergarten.
Yes.
To help them build their social skills. And I know one of the things you have is the stay and play hours.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Absolutely. So our family resource centers all have stay and play hours. And there are times where our resource centers are open for anyone to come and drop in. So it's not a program you have to register for. You come, you drop into our family resource center. We have a beautiful early childhood development area that families can use to play with their children and enjoy with their children. Many times on hot days, our family resource centers are bustling with families because it's too hot to go to the park. But their children need to get out and be in a beautiful environment where they're learning and having fun. Or on rainy days, we tend to also be bustling. Yeah, because you can't go to the park on a rainy day. Well, I would argue you could, because splashing in the puddles is very delightful, but not every day. So yeah, but I mean, every day we have families who come in to stay and play hours and enjoy the center. We also collaborate with other organizations organizations like the Children's Discovery Museum, Campbell Library, San Jose Library, who come and provide different activities, whether it's a read aloud or a science activity, an art activity. So we have a wonderful volunteer named Mimi, who's a retired preschool teacher, who comes in and does story, songs, and more during that time. So kids, really enjoy that time together with their families. And it's an unstructured playtime. That's just as important as structured playtime. So many times we think our children have to be in a structured environment to be learning, but they really learn through play. So unstructured play is just as important.
Well, and that's very important for their emotional development, their social development. So because they learn to share, they learn to interact with other children.
Absolutely.
And sometimes depending on the parents, if the child's parents are at work, child stays at the grandparents, comes back to the parents, they may not have that opportunity necessarily in the natural family setting. So it's a great opportunity to open it up and have a way for people to get out with their children and get into a social environment. Yeah,
and many families who are living in, extreme poverty situations, or because of the high cost of living in Santa Clara County, there's 2-3 families sometimes sharing a 1-bedroom apartment. And so children don't really have a whole lot of space to play to begin with. And so that's why, they're very limited sometimes to in front of the TV or video games. And so our family resource centers are a safe place in the neighborhood where they can come and play, because maybe their homes are just too crowded and too small to be able to do so. So that's something that we find as well. We love it. But we serve families of all income levels, and really the only qualification to participate in our services is that you have a family, is that you have a child 0 to 5 years old. But even if you don't, and you walk into our Family Resource Center and you're looking for resources on housing or food or clothing, we can also assist with that. We refer that individual to another organization that
handles those types of things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So some of the other things that you do for early education, you have a Learning Together STEAM program, right? So they have, again, that's what you were talking about with the library, where it focuses on the science, technology, engineering, aviation, arts, math, music and movement. That sounds like a fun program.
Yeah, they're all fun. Actually, those are the programs that families, we have wait lists. Families get so excited for our programs. So our Learning Together program, just as you mentioned, it's twice a week. So one day in that week, if it's a Tuesday, Thursday program, families are together learning, and they're wondering about the world around them. Children at a young age are just curious about everything around them. But sometimes parents are quick to just answer their curiosity. They ask a question, how does a rainbow form? And parents give the answer. Well, we're really trying to encourage parents about how can you wonder together with your child. So if your child's wondering where rainbows come from, ask them, well, gosh, I don't know. What do you think? Your child will probably have an amazing theory about where they think rainbows come from, and and from there you explore together, right? You go to the research, maybe you Google rainbows, you look at different ways that children can learn about where rainbows come from, rather than just telling them. That could sometimes take the excitement out of it, right? Rather than explore together. So Learning Together is about that. So parents learn how to encourage their child's natural curiosity, and children learn better because they're going to remember it more by exploring it together with different strategies and different opportunities.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So, and you also have some physical things for kids to do. So I know you have Zumba at the center, and you not only do Zumba for adults, but you do Zumba for kids, which is a really fun, fabulous thing. Yeah. And then in the summer, you run the Junior Giants program.
Yeah, we have lots of wellness programs. They're very popular programs as well. We just added a tumbling class, which is 4 to 6 year olds tumbling and jumping on trampolines and rock climbing and sliding down and doing somersaults, and so it's a lot of fun. Yes, so we have a tumbling class. We have Zumba Kids. Zumba Kids is basically a dance cardio class that's uses a lot of Latin music, but of course Zumba for Kids is also has a lot of games in between, and the kids love it. They have a lot of fun. They get to dance to their favorite pop music. And Zumba for adults is similar without all the games, but but that's a very popular program as well, and we usually pack the house for that. We have yoga for adults. We have family yoga, so it's really laying down the yoga mats and caregivers and their children side by side, practicing yoga and learning how to also, yoga has so many health benefits, but it also has so many, mental health and spiritual health benefits. And so children really learn how to breathe deeply and calm themselves down. So there's so many benefits to it. And those are great programs that we offer as well.
Cool. And then one of the last things I wanted to touch on is that as a way of expanding, a way to provide information to your clients, you've put together the Neighborhood Family Engagement Collaborative, which is a collection of nonprofits that serve specifically families and children in Santa Clara, and giving them a way to get together once a month and share information, network, and things like that, which I think is just fabulous.
Yeah, that was one of the things we saw. We launched a research project with the Heising Simons Foundation and surveyed providers in the community and said, what do you think is missing? And one of the biggest was, ways to collaborate together. So what we wanted to do was minimize the duplication of services that are being provided and also provide better quality of services because we're better connected. So once a month we meet. We collaborated with the San Jose Public Library, again, a great collaborator of ours, and they provide a free space once a month at the Bascom Library, the fourth Friday of every month to be specific, from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, and we serve lunch. And agencies, not only agencies, but also just community advocates, families that want to get more involved. We come together. Not only do we learn about the services that are going on, but we also learn about, how can maybe we even be involved in changing policy that's preventing families from getting access to what they need. So yeah, it's a great way to get connected with other agencies and learn more about what is impacting families in your community and how to make some changes.
That's wonderful. So, Charlene, if our viewers want to find out where to go to, how do they find, about all these programs and the different community resource centers, where they're located, because they're throughout Santa Clara County. I mean, it sounds like there's just one or two. I think there's like 12 or so. So that would be on the First Five website? Yeah,
on the First Five website, there's about 14 family resource centers in Santa Clara County, and Catholic Charities oversees about 7 or 8 of those. And yes, if you go to www.first5kids.org, and you click on the tab that says Family Resource Centers, you'll find the list of all of the resource centers in Santa Clara County. And I'm sure you'll find one within, a few miles from your home, hopefully, and they can find the information there. And we're always looking for volunteers, too.
Sound great. So thank you again, Charlene, for coming. We love having you on the show.
Thank you.
And we hope that our viewers will take advantage and take a look at the website and not only take advantage of the resources and programs, but also come and volunteer and help out the centers as well.
Great. Thank you, Liz. I hope so. Hope to see everyone there.
All right.